So what's going on right now in Denver? And this is happening across the country in specific states. I mean, let's be clear about this. It is happening in specific states and for usually a specific reason. And it's, people are saying, like, Vox has this thing, protests that stay are spreading despite most Americans' fear of reopening. Now, the bottom line of let me just give you a broad sense of what's happening here. Donald Trump wants to reopen on May 15th. He wants to shift blame to Democratic governors. He wants to make this story that the economy sucks in September because of Democratic governors. So the game plan is this. We're going to push for states to reopen. And I don't even think they really want them to necessarily, but we're going to push for it. We're going to make it seem as if these Democratic governors are overstepping the line, that they are overreacting because they want to hurt Donald Trump. And that's why you have like DeVos, and that's why you have these militias basically mobilizing to go out and do these protests. Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Michigan, Minnesota. I mean, honestly, if I was to say to you guys, name the top 12 states that are arguably or within the realm of being swing states or are bordering swing states so that there's media there, or that there's maybe a tight Senate race. Idaho, Kentucky, California. Idaho seems to be the only place that we're not talking about a swing state, right? And Florida theoretically could be a swing state. People are saying because of this unemployment stuff down there, could be a swing state. North Carolina, swing state. Tom Tillis in a big race there. Virginia, used to be a swing state. Maybe they want to get some state Senate seats back. Michigan, swing state. Minnesota could be in play. That's what we were told last time around. Like I say, Idaho, I think it's just a bunch of militia people out there. But Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, outraised in money. I don't know if he's going to lose, but. And then California, which I think is obviously not. But they don't want. That's why they're doing this. And then, of course, you get Alex Jones doing it at one place. But here is it happening in Colorado. There's Cory Gardner is in a tight race there. And here is some of the protests from Colorado. Are these just pictures? Because there's here's some, I don't know if these are pictures, right? Are these videos? Okay. Yeah. Play this. These are some nurses who have basically been working in these hospitals or standing out there basically just to remind these idiots what's going on. And look at the signs. The signs say, we don't believe you, essentially. Like, where are the bodies? Play this. Now, to be clear, these nurses are standing out in the crosswalk during red lights only. They're not blocking traffic. They're just out there standing in the crosswalk during red lights to let people, to give these idiots some semblance. And I'm sorry, they're idiots. They are idiots. Some semblance of the stakes that are involved here. Some of the signs I saw were like, that one was like, what, land of the free or something. But some were like, where are the bodies?
Oh, yeah. I saw my body, my choice, which is pretty twisted. Yep. Also, social distancing equals communism, which LOL, I wish that were true, because then we'd have communism in New York right now.
I think, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. And supposedly I've seen some stories that the White House is a little bit concerned that these non-social distancing protests are going to lead to hotspots in certain places. I don't wish this on anyone, but it's hard not to, let's put it that way, when you see this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but there's no way that most of these protesters are working class people who are desperate to get back to work so they can earn a wage. This is some fake ass AstroTurf Tea Party nonsense. And I think a lot of them are probably small business tyrants who are Trump's base and want to resume exploiting people.
Well, I mean, look, we have small businesses that are dropping like flies. And I don't think that, for me, I don't really think that's the issue. These people don't like social distancing because I don't know that it's a financial issue for them at all. It may be in some instances. Certainly everybody's hurting. You want to protest, you can go and protest your state failure to provide unemployment. You can go protest the fact that Ruth Chris, one of Sean Hannity's longtime sponsors, one of Donald Trump's buddies, is getting millions of dollars of supposedly, I mean, they're a multi-million dollar company with hundreds upon hundreds of employees. And they've laid off workers at their restaurants, and they're just paying their executives with this paycheck protection stuff. I can understand protesting that, but this is what we're seeing are people who are protesting because they are morons, because they do not believe. Well, part of it is just that they don't want it to exist. And therefore, the way they respond to these things, when there is an attempt to any type of like communitarian response, and frankly, there is only one type of response to a pandemic, and that is a communitarian one. That is one that fundamentally recognizes the relationship between us as human beings is the key. And particularly at the beginning of this, but every aspect of a solution out of this is communitarian by definition. And so these people hate it because they have been trained to hate it, because they see it infringing upon their belief that we are, individuals, and that we should have a free market, and that there should be no government involvement in any of these things. Constitution doesn't say anything about protecting us from a pandemic. Doesn't say anything about coronavirus. Therefore, none of this can exist. They are morons.
Well, and their SUVs are basically an embodiment of that trying to insulate themselves from other people thing. That's what those giant $40,000, $50,000 SUVs are.
Right. And, to be fair, you can see this amongst, I think, I have no doubt that there are working class people involved in it in Michigan or in other states. It just so happens that one truck there in Colorado, they're all in their cars, which is interesting. What they should do is they should basically be marching with their comrades and breathing all over each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, this goes beyond any kind of economic anxiety or ideology, even for a lot of these people. And it's just people who are cracked enough in the brain to believe the conspiracy theories, like the one about how COVID is a hoax. And, we're really going to test out Trump's theory that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and these people would still support him, right? Because they're going to start seeing their friends die.
I mean, at least in that case, he would only be killing one person. This pandemic response is a much more significant body count.